All right, so this is going to be a multi-tiered lesson. There's going to be a couple concepts that we'll be able to work on today. So the first thing, people have issues learning how to bar chord, and for a long time, I had those same issues. So the best way you can learn how to bar chord is take your index finger of your fretting hand, your index finger, and just lay it across all the strings. And you want to hold your finger like you're about to pinch. You're about to pinch something. Okay? So hold it, and you want to apply way more pressure than you think is necessary. Like you want to be able to feel like, imagine you're trying to pick up a phone book. It's a really weird analogy, but imagine trying to pick up a phone book and you're squeezing as hard as you can, okay? So that's the feeling you want to have in your fretting hand. And just pick any fret. It don't matter what fret you pick, just for this exercise. So you're gonna pick a fret with that index finger and just squeeze. And when you pick, you want to be able to hear every single note. You don't want to hear no mutes or nothing like that. You want to be able to just pick right through. And then you're going to slide up your neck. You're going to do that with every fret that you can with just that finger, okay? So you're going to go. You get the idea. You're going to go up and down the neck. So you're going to go down, then you're going to go back up, okay? The whole time you're keeping that pressure, you're keeping that squeezing feeling, okay? And the reason why it's so important to keep that pressure is because you want to train your body to get used to being really, really uncomfortable. If you can train your body and your fingers to play as way harder than what's necessary, then when you go to actually play a correct bar chord, your hands aren't cramped up. It's like going to the gym and pushing as much weight as you can on a particular exercise, like doing your 1 rep max, we'll say. But you're only going to do that once every blue moon. You're not going to go to the gym and lift the heaviest weight you can every single time. You're going to kill yourself. So with the same exercise, you're going to change your fingers. So you did it with your index, you're gonna do the same thing with your middle finger. Same thing, pressure, squeeze, like you're trying to pick up a phone book. That pressure, same thing. Up and down the neck. See, it's even tough for me. And then back down, okay? And then same thing with the rest of your fingers. Now you'll do your ring finger, okay? And the reason why it's important to do with all your fingers is because there's multiple bar chords that you're going to do. You're not just going to bar with the one finger. This is the most commonly used fingers, your index, see the bar. The bar is right there, on that finger. But that's not the only finger you're going to be barring. There's other instances where you'll have to bar with the ring finger, like right here. Or sometimes I use the pinky for those chords. So I have to build up the strength in all my fingers, and I think that's smart for everybody to do that as well. So now you do your pinky, which is going to be really tough to do. You may have to do a little contorting with your wrists. And the importance of doing up and down the neck is because you want to train also your muscle memory that in any situation you'll be able to bar a chord. Because barring a chord up here, way up high, is a different sensation than barring way down here. It's more comfortable down here because there's more neck. Usually there's more fret width down here versus up here. Okay, so that's the first concept I want to talk about. You work on that, and eventually you'll get to the point to where you'll be able to add some fingers, and that'll be for a different lesson. So The next concept we're going to talk about is it's a little exercise. I can't remember where I learned it. I'll have to think about it. It's been a while, but I think it was Phil X. He was a guitar player that stepped in sometimes for John Bon Jovi, or for Bon Jovi. Anyways, he had this exercise where like you play the same fret with all your fingers. It's kind of a brain teaser, but it teaches you finger mobility and finger agility. So how that goes is pick a fret. It don't matter. Now I'm in D standard. Without getting too much into theory, don't even worry about it. Just pick a random fret. It don't matter. So we'll say my high E right here. Play it with your index finger. Just play a note. Play that same note now with your middle finger. And then your ring. And then now your pinky. And then go back. Your ring finger, your middle finger, and your index. And what that's going to do is that's going to teach you finger mobility, because there's going to be instances where you're playing a solo where I'm going to hit notes with one finger at one point in time, and then later on in the solo I'm going to have to hit that same note, but my hand ain't in the same position. So I'm going to have to switch it up and use a different finger. You want to be able to train your fingers where, just like with the bars, you want to train your fingers where you can go anywhere on the neck and be comfortable with every single finger, okay? So it sounds annoying, but do that up and down the neck. And start slow. It's probably going to be like, for beginners, probably. It don't matter. You go at your own pace, okay? And you want to be able to do that on all the strings, not just the high E, do it on the low E, all of them. And if you don't play with a pick, you can do it with your thumb. The importance isn't on your picking hand, it's on your fretting hand. So you can do it with your thumb like I'm doing. It don't matter. You want to work out this fretting hand, because the fretting hand, for most time, this is the business hand. You want to have this hand strong. So that's the next concept. Just work on all those fingers. Now the last concept we'll talk about is Hammer-Ons. But it's going to be a little fun exercise. So if you don't know what a hammer-on is, it's moving from one note and you're ascending to a next note by applying pressure with the next finger. So usually when you're doing a hammer-on, you're usually starting with your index finger, okay? And you're playing a next note above by hammering on with the next finger. And what hammering on basically is just you're letting your finger drop. So okay, so for those at home watching this, like I said, I'm in D standard tuning. Most of y'all are gonna be tuning E, which, without getting too much into the weeds, it just means I'm tuned lower. But you can do this on any fret, it don't matter. If you want to follow along, you'll probably have to play on the 3rd fret to get it to sound like mine. But anyway, so pick a fret. I'm gonna play the 5th fret of the low E with my index finger. And then I'm going to take my ring finger and I'm going to hit 2 frets above. So the 7th fret. I'm just letting my finger drop. Okay? That's a hammer-on. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to ascend down the neck in this little fun pattern. So check it out. It's going to go E, A, D string, A, D, G string, D, G, B string, G, B, E. You'll see what I mean. So you're not going to change any frets. Same fret, so. Just like that. You know, E, A, D, E, A, D, E string, A string, D string. Now you're going to go A string, D string, G string. Okay, A string, D string, G string. And really just let your finger fall. When I started playing, I used a lot of force, and I think that's also good because, like I said earlier, it teaches you to use way more force than necessary. Then when you actually have to play, you're light as a feather. Okay, so if you had to be really aggressive, that's fine too. So we're gonna start from the top again. Now A, D, G, then D, D, G, B. So D string, G string, B string, and then now G, B, E. And what it's going to sound like all together is this. I'll do it slower. That's going to teach you fret mobility, getting up and down the neck. And just like the other exercises, guys, go up and down the neck. Use multiple frets. In doing this, it all comes back to being able to play in multiple instances and circumstances. So one more time to recap everything we've talked about. Well, here's the bar. Up and down the neck. Changing fingers. And then go down. And you can do this for hours. You could watch TV and do this. That's what I used to do. Just watch TV, just play. Next exercise we talked about was the finger mobility. And I know none of this is musical, but what this is going to do is give you strength in your hands. Like, let the music come later. You want to have your hands strong. Let the music come later, okay? And the third exercise we talked about was those hammer-ons. So, anyways, guys, that was today's lesson. Got 3 and 1 today. Get out there and play and have fun, okay? See y'all later. Peace.
That's a